Hello everyone, I'm FARMERSIM and welcome back to Iowa Cattle. I do hope you're all doing very well and having a great day. So we're still in November, of course. Harvest is still upon us. We've got acres of land to get harvested, loads and loads of work to crack on with, and that is why I've decided to stick with our first day in November and enjoy this beautiful evening. Now what I have done initially, I've changed the lighting settings in the game so at the minute to use the custom lighting from DJ Modding's gorgeous map Judith Plains, Montana, because I do believe he did do a little bit of work in darkening the sky a little bit, and it just, honestly, I think it just works, quite frankly. It looks absolutely gorgeous. The weather's good for the next couple of days anyway, in-game days for pretty much the entirety of November. So with that in mind, I'm going to kind of make as much use of the time that I've got as I can, essentially, because we do have a lot of work to do. Now, in the last episode, I did take on a contract, even though we've got tons of work of our own to crack on with so much land to work. I did take on a massive soybean harvesting contract, as some of you may well be aware, and we got that done. But something has occurred as a result of that, and it's something that I wasn't expecting. And yes, it was a contract. It paid us, I can't remember exactly what it paid us, actually. I think it was about 70 odd grand. In real life, it was last week when I recorded that episode. So yeah, it's it paid well. That's one of the reasons why I felt I couldn't not take it on. But we've turned in the contract, got the money, completed, and all that kind of stuff. But what I've noticed is the straw swaths are still there for us to pick up. And I have tested it, as you can see at the minute. We did have a little bit of alfalfa hay left in this baler, and from when I did the cut in this alfalfa field next to us here. But yeah, I can pick the straw up, and I don't have contract boost running. I don't have any contract mods running in the game that will enable me to do that and take advantage of, you know, other people's straw. But it's there for me to pick up. It's like the farmer said, yeah, I don't need it, you can have it. So, well, what can I say? I can't not take advantage of that either, can I? Because it was a very, very big field. It is a very big field. And potentially, there's a lot of straw bales that we could get out of it and sell. And get a little bit more money, or quite a bit more money, potentially back into the bank. And here we are here on our right-hand side, as you can see. It's all still there. Normally, as a rule, when you turn in a contract, the field kind of resets itself, and I've turned in the contract, and the field has not reset at all. It's still in its harvested state, and the straw swaths are still there. As you can see, when we look at the field info, Farmland 2, owned by David. What can I say? I don't know what to say about that, but if I don't do anything about it, I think, you know, I'm not necessarily shooting myself in the foot, but it's something I feel I should take advantage of. So, we're going to have this, essentially. But, in my usual fashion, before we do anything like that, I'm not going to be doing the straw baling today, because I know we've got good weather for the forthcoming few days. I know it's not going to rain, so this isn't going to get rained on, so I can afford to leave it out in the fields. Because we've not just got this field to pick up straw from, of course. We've got our cornfields that we started to harvest in the last episode, a really big one. If we go into our map PDA there, as you can see, field 15 here is the one that we harvested in the last episode as well. There we go, harvested. That is still full of straw. We've got the soybean field here, which isn't ours, like I say, but we're going to get that picked up with straw. Today, eventually, we're going to be working in our field 4 over here, which is another field of corn, our second biggest field of corn. We'll get that. The aim is to get that cut this evening, essentially, work into the night and get that done. Well, obviously, because I do have the extended straw crops mod by Yoss Modding. We get corn straw as a result of that as well. So we're going to have masses of straw, and of course we've still got field 17 here, which is relatively small in comparison to everything else, but we'll get straw off that. We've got field 5 here, we'll get straw off that, and of course we've got our soybean field here, field 10, which we will get straw off as well. So we're going to be literally inundated with potentially hundreds and hundreds of straw bales now, which is good. So I will have the option to you know, draw up something of a vast stockpile to fall back on for the cows for the winter and moving on into the future as well, but it will also give me the opportunity to potentially sell a whole load of them and claw a little bit of money back into the bank, because that is one of my main focuses, as it is on most of my series, because I suppose it's my style of play in that I tend to try not to get a loan if I can. It's just the way I like to play, and one of the ways sometimes that I can get around not getting a loan, because we do have like I've said in previous episodes, we've got the big construction project looming for the winter, which is going to be right here on our left hand side in the existing cow pasture. When all these cows have been moved into the cow barn for the winter, as some of you may well be aware, what I'm going to do is remove this cow pasture, and then we're going to get some construction on in this pasture here, in this area of land, and I'm going to build up potentially a couple more cow barns in order to house future existing cows that we're going to be purchasing to go in our new vast pasture over on the east side of the map, and to prepare them for the next winter, so we've got somewhere to put them all for the winter essentially. And the financial need of that is going to be absolutely massive. We're going to, the investment that's going to require is vast, because if I want to use the same cow barns that I've got on my current farm, the one that I've got up there from BSL Modding, each one of them is $250,000. I'm going to try and at least have one of them, but I may, financial limitations may mean that I need to pick a different one just for the purposes of making it cheaper. But we're going to see how we get on with that, because right now, another little thing that I'm going to be doing right now, I've got the baler attached to the fence here, because in my usual fashion, and again, this is what I was referring to when I said it's kind of my usual style of play, is the opportunity has arisen to do a spot of wheeling and dealing. Now, I'm sure most of you are aware that the Plains and Prairies DLC has now been released and is upon us, and one of the things that has brought into the game is the new Brandt auger wagon, and it is massive. It holds somewhere about 80,000 litres or 88,000 litres or something crazy like that, and I really do want to buy that, because it could potentially save a lot of time when it comes to harvesting our fields. So what the idea is, I have done the mathematics, and I'm not necessarily going to make money from that one, but the other swap that I'm going to do is we're going to be getting rid of this Fendt baler. I'm on the way to the shop now to sell this, because on the mod hub in the last few days, the ARM team have released a handful of their wonderful mods, one of them being a John Deere pack of balers. You've got I think it's a John Deere 690, I think this one's called, and it literally does exactly what this baler does. It can produce up to 240 centimetre square bales, but it's vastly cheaper, and it also requires a lot less horsepower. So that means, because at the minute this baler requires 275 horsepower to operate, so the only tractors that really I can use for this is the Fendt that we're in here, and the McCormick that we have on the farm as well. Whereas if I get this ARM team's John Deere, it only requires 115 horsepower. So pretty much every tractor that we have on the farm can operate it, and it just means, my ability to operate it with my different equipment gets considerably bigger. So right now, let's just pull that up out of the way. In fact, no, what we'll do is we'll go and get the other one. So the John Deere baler that I'm talking about, the 690, that's $12,000. Properly cheap, but it does everything that Fendt baler does. So it's a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. So when you, obviously, as I'm sure you were all aware, when you take vehicles to a dealership, you get more money than just selling them straight out of the menus. That Fendt baler there currently is worth, where am I at now? $157,963 if I sell it over there at the shop. And the J&M grain cart that we're going to sell, I'm going to swap out the J&M grain cart for the new big Brandt one. The J&M is currently worth about $114,616. The Brandt is a little bit more expensive at $171,500. But if I go through with all of this, swapping these two bits of equipment out, I will make $90,000 on top of what we have here, bringing our bank balance to somewhere in the region of about just under $230,000, $37,000, which is, I mean, to me, that's a no-brainer. It really is. And like I said, that's just my style of play. That's just how I like to do things, because I do try my very best to not get loans where I don't need them. So that is my little plan moving forward. Just to, in these lovely evening hours, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go just back into run this Fendt, take the equipment over to the shop, sell them, buy the 2 new bits of equipment. We're going to be cracking straight on with using the new Brandt auger wagon. I have set up my auto drive and my course play for field 4, the big cornfield that we're going to be working in this evening, and getting the corn harvested and taken over to the corn drying silo to get that drying away for us. Obviously, because I'm sure, as a lot of you are aware, the plan with that is to dry all of our corn and sell it as soon as physically possible, which is going to go towards a massive portion of affording our big construction project in the coming months in the winter when the cows are in the barn. And yeah, so hopefully that, like I say, I'm trying my very best to get as much money into the bank account using as many methods that are acceptable in my mind as possible. So that's that, I suppose. Now, regarding the soybeans, I know we've got the massive field of soybeans to harvest in this month, and initially my mindset was to get it harvested and immediately sell it as a cash crop. But in the menu at the minute, the price for soybeans is almost at its lowest. When we start moving towards December, that price does increase a little bit. I'll jump into the menus in a minute when we're back home. Let me just reverse up here, reverse into our shed, and get the J&M grain cart hooked up and get it sent back. There's nothing wrong with this J&M grain cart. It's a wonderful piece of equipment. Like I say, it's just because of the addition of this Brandt one from the Plains and Prairies pack. I've literally not had the opportunity so far. I've not given myself the opportunity to test or even have the slightest look at any of the equipment from the Plains and Prairies pack. Now, this map kind of suits it as well. I know a lot of people, it's perfect for Judith Plains, Montana, that has been perfectly timed, I feel, in its release for alongside the Plains and Prairies pack. I don't know if that was intentional from DJ Modding, but if it was, sterling work as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, it's I've not had the opportunity to look at any of it yet, so I'm very keen to at least have a go with this auger wagon. So this will be the only tractor that can handle that auger wagon, with it being absolutely massive and taking a huge quantity of product in the back. It needs a lot of power to shift it, and I think in the menus it says it needs 500 horsepower to shift about. So yeah, this will pretty much be the auger wagon tractor as far as I'm concerned. But what it does mean, what I am going to try and do, because it does have such a massive capacity, when we get to harvesting the corn in a little while's time, I'm just going to run this one tractor with the big auger wagon. I'm going to try and get things set up properly so that it can chase the combine as it runs through the field. Once we've got the couple of headlands done out of the way, it can chase the combine, and we'll have the truck waiting in. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the truck waiting in the opposite field, the cornfield that we harvested in the last episode. Instead of having the truck sat in the cornfield that we're going to be working in, I'll have it sat across the road just so it doesn't get in the way, and then this thing can run from one field to another, supporting the combine in field 4, and then run across the road and empty into the truck, which will be waiting in field 15, I think that's the one. So that's the plan. Initially, anyway, that's how I plan to move forward with today's episode. But yeah, I just think it's the right, for me on this series, it's the right thing to do. Chopping in a couple of bits of equipment, getting an extra $90,000 into the bank. I mean, that's more money than we got from doing the contract in the last episode. I think, like I said, it was about 70 grand that we got in the last episode from that contract, wasn't it? So yeah, it's a no-brainer. Now, don't get me wrong. I know if I didn't do the swapping out of the auger wagons, I'd be making more money. I understand that completely. I think I'd be getting, let's have a look, I think it'd be about $102,000 we'd get in the bank if I just swapped out the big baler for the new John Deere older 690 model. but there's a certain element of want, like I say, for the Brandt auger wagon. That's the plan. So let's get this up to the shop here, get it reversed in, and I don't think I need to spend too much money in repairing them because well, they've barely been used. I suppose the baler's been used quite a bit, hasn't it? But this auger wagon hasn't really been used that much, has it? Let's be honest. Right, need to be mindful. My reversing skills here. I can't actually see the door, but I feel like I'm aiming roughly. Oh, look at that. I did something. Okay, not a little bit too far off to the left there, isn't it? But fortunately, this workshop does have an all-encompassing floor plan that covers the whole workshop trigger. So let's just shift this out of the way for now. Turn that off. There we go. And now we should be able to go to our trigger here. Boom. There we go. You see, it's brilliant. So 114,594 there. Yep, we'll sell that one. Lovely stuff. And the Fendt, like I say, it does literally the same job as this, but just makes us a whole load more money. So there we go. Let's get that one in there. Now I do need to make sure that when it comes to purchasing these two things, when I buy them, they're not going to land in the workshop there. So I'm just going to just give myself the room here. I'm not actually too sure why, interestingly, on this map, when I come to this area of the map, it might be the lights, I'm not too sure, but my performance dips a bit, so I do apologise if there's a slight jerkiness to my movements there. My FPS drops considerably. Right, so I'm just going to drop these in the field there, and yes, I know there will be a very, very minor money drop there from the delivery, I suppose, from the store deliveries mod. But yeah, so let's go to our shop. Auger wagons. There we go. It's this beauty. 88,000 cubic meters. It's absolutely massive. So I think colour-wise, what should we go for? I think because the Fendt is going to be the one that is going to be towing it mainly, I think we'll have it in Fendt red. What does it look like in Fendt green, actually? Fendt nature green. Yeah, I think red looks better though, don't we think? Fendt red. Doesn't cost me any extra money. So that's $171,500. What's that going to have cost me in delivery charges? Ooh, 4,300. Ah, well, no, I'm fine with that. It's fine. Let's go and have a look at it, shall we? In the dark, admittedly, but look at that. What a beast. What a beast. That's cool. Right. And now we want the baler. So, scroll down to our balers. There we go. But yeah, $175,000. 12. It just makes perfect sense. 180 to 240 centimetre bales. 180 to 240 centimetre bales. 10 miles an hour. 10 miles an hour. Runs at the same pace, but this one requires 115 horsepower. Weighs 8.6 tons. This one weighs 13.6 and requires 275. So it's just a no-brainer. It really is. So we're going to, I don't really think we need to do anything with this in respect of altering it in any way. We'll just get that purchased. There we go. And that even means that things like, and what we've got there, $307 delivery cost, that's fine. So $232,105 now. And what have we had before? 147. No-brainer. No-brainer as far as I'm concerned. So, 2 new bits of equipment. We'll be taking them. Well, we need to take them both back to the farm, really, don't we, at the minute? I suppose I can send. We'll take the baler back first, get that dropped off at the farm, and then we can come back for the auger wagon and just go straight out to the field and get waiting for the harvester, because that's what we're going to be doing as soon as physically possible. There we go. And because we are in the same month, I don't need to worry about checking on any of the animals or anything. We have actually got some milk that we can sell over in both of the cow pastures, but for now I'm just going to leave that be for now because we want to crack on with this harvest. We'll I think collectively across the 2 pastures we've got somewhere in the region of about 11,000 litres, I think. So yeah, right. So now that job is done, I'm going to get them both back to the farm. Or get this back to the farm, sorry. We'll get set up in the field, get everything there, and I'll pick you up there in a few moments' time. Right, off to work we go. Now I am hoping this is going to come out okay. I don't often do much in the way of... let me just pull away from that harvester a bit, because it is quite a noisy thing. I don't often do much night work, so I am, in my usual fashion, I'm going to try my best to produce some kind of a cinematic, throw a bit of music behind this job. It is going to take quite a few hours. I appreciate that. It's a big job. It's 6:45 at night now. I'd imagine this should potentially take us past midnight, possibly. But it's worth doing, and like I say, I'll turn it into a bit of a cinematic and pop a bit of music behind it and get it done. So yeah, but I suppose I should really have let my workers go in front of me, shouldn't I? Because they're kind of slowing up behind me at my measly 26 miles an hour. The fence seems to be alright, but the truck's faster than the fence, and that's catching the fence up and having to stop every few feet. No, it'll be alright, because he's going to be pulling in to the left here any minute now. So, where are we going? The fence off to pick up the auger wagon, of course. Right, this is us here, isn't it? So, let's get this thing unfolded. Let's check I've got my straw swath enabled. I have. Let's unfold that header. There we go. Lovely stuff. We'll carve a bit of a path for the Fent to follow when he's got the auger wagon. There we go. Nice. That'll do. That will do. Right, like I say, massive job looms ahead, but it is a gorgeous evening, and this beautiful sunny evening, or dark but sunny evening, I feel, hopefully, might turn into something of a nice, darker than usual cinematic. So, I shall crack on with this, and I'll see you all a bit later on. Boom! Night harvest complete, and that was a cracking job. The yield wasn't so bad either, actually. Off this field that we got during this harvest, 365,613 litres. So, compared to the field 15 that we did in the last episode, which is about 20-odd acres bigger, we got 408,000 off of that field. So, not bad at all, if I don't say so myself. And this thing is an absolute beast. I mean, just look at the size of that auger pipe. It's absolutely massive on its own. Well, the measurement I got from it a few moments ago when I made the last tip into the truck, when it was 90% full, it weighed 81.1 tons, which is massive, really, when you think about it. So collectively, this thing weighed, with its tractor on the front as well, the convoy in total weighed north of 100 tons, which was massive, quite frankly. But yeah, like I say, job done, and it went pretty swimmingly, if I don't say so myself, in comparison to the last one we did in the last episode where I had to switch harvesters. Yeah, that did really, really good. Now, we did, looking at the field, of course, we do have quite a lot of patches of damaged, withered crop here, this is as a result of one of the features of realistic weather. So this kind of shows rain or hail damage kind of thing. But if we have a look at the map PDA very quickly, in both fields, you know, those dark patches that we see there, that is all patches of damaged crops. So I know it wouldn't necessarily add up to a huge amount, but it would add up to an amount nonetheless across those two fields. That could be potentially several thousand litres, I think, possibly. But either way, there's not much we can do about the weather, is there? We are fortunate, though, at the minute. The weather for November has given reasonably good for the entirety of the month, so that's really good. And we really do have an enormous amount of straw to get picked, haven't we, really? I'm thinking maybe before we crack on in the next episode with well, to be fair, I think we might need to finish off the cornfields. Let's have a look. So we've got field 5 next to the farm here, and we've got field 17 down here. If we get all those done, get that quantity of corn into the dryer, and then we can and then essentially get as much of it dried as possible. So jumping into our dryer menu here, as you can see, we've got 773838. We do still have we do have as well at the minute 24,811 litres of dried corn drying away as well. So we're not done bad out of that. So I'm pretty sure, I'd like to think that in total we'll probably have north of 1 million litres of corn across the farm once both those fields are finished off. But yeah, I think we'll probably start the next episode getting the corn finished off, and then I think it'd be a good idea to get that new baler into action and get all the fields baled up of what we've got already, and then we can just start afresh with the big field of soybeans and get that done, and then that'll be us done for harvest time then. But that's I say that'll be us done. It has been and still will be a massive job. We've got acres of land and hours of work to get done, but I'm enjoying it so much. It's wonderful. It really is. So awesome stuff. But it's late. It's 10:30 at night. That's taken us, we finished that we started this job, sorry, it was around 6:45 in the evening, so it's been several hours worth of work. But yeah, I'm glad I've done it working into the night here. It's making good use of the time, and it frees up more hours in tomorrow, so that's all good. But for today's episode, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to call it here. Thank you very much for watching. I really do hope you have enjoyed the episode and found it a little bit of fun. As always, if you're new to the channel and you like my content, you like the way I'm doing things, please consider hitting that subscribe button and jumping on board, joining the channel. Please give the video a like if you can. It does do wonders, helps the YouTube algorithm do its thing. And as always, there are a host of links in the video description below with my Giants Partner promo code. If any of you are in the market for purchasing Farming Simulator 25 and you like the idea of supporting the channel and helping out a creator, as always, I would be massively appreciative. And also, if any of you are in the market for an online server to play with your mates and you like the idea again of supporting the channel, but also like the idea of a 10% reduction in the cost of that server, please consider using my G-Portal affiliate link, which again will be in the video description below. Any help and support there also would be hugely appreciated. So, thank you very much for your time again, ladies and gentlemen. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.